Hello, I'm Danny,
And I'm Jake.
and this is Marvel Talk. Welcome back, everybody, to a bizarre episode of Marvel Talk, as we have there's a lot of news that's been happening since the last time we checked in, and some of it's pretty cool, some of it's up in the air, and some of it's a bummer, sadly to say. Start the episode off with Netflix canceling Jupiter's Legacy.
Right out of the gate, I feel like I'm a little crushed, man. I was really excited to see where this show went. And I think it's really weird that they're just replacing it with another Mark Miller property. I thought that was really strange. It's like, oh, well, Jupiter's Legacy didn't work, so we'll try the first couple issues of a different Mark Miller book.
Yeah, so they instead picked up Super Crooks. I believe they said it was going to be a live action and an animated series that they were going to be doing for this. Like we mentioned on the episode, critic review wasn't the best for Jupiter's Legacy. I think part of it has to do with it being more of like a setup season than anything else, I guess. It's still enjoyable as a starter. You know, it definitely had me looking forward to the second season.
I think all the acting on the show was great. There wasn't a ton of action scenes, but I still thought it was really fun. It's such a bummer. I thought Josh Duhamel finally had a good breakout role. Because, you know, he's been in stuff, but he hasn't had like that role yet, you know, like where he's like the full-on lead and he's just taking command of the whole thing, and that's why I really liked this one. It was a good vehicle for him, and I think a lot of the other actors were stellar. I love the son, I love the wife, I love all of the Union. Like, they're all great. Like, all the main Union guys are awesome, especially the brother. So to see this cast of characters not be able to continue bums me out, man. It's too bad.
It really does, man, because, you know, with season 2, we were going to see Brandon, you know, become a bigger role in the show.
Yep.
Right? Because he's finally understood what his dad has been trying to teach him this whole time. I figured season 2 would be the start of Utopian training Brandon to become the next leader for the Union.
Yeah, that's something I was really hoping to see. Now that I know that it's not getting a season 2, some of the spoilers that I heard about it make it a lot more devastating that we're not getting it.
Oh, from the comic, right?
Yeah, from the comic side. Do you care, or are you going to read it at some point? Or
yeah, I think I'm going to pick it up. I wanted to hop into the comics after the show. I just haven't gone around to it yet. But now I definitely want to check out what we're going to be missing.
Okay, cool. I won't spoil it for you then. It's pretty good. I was just like, man, that would have been so good to see on screen. Like, all that stuff happened. I paged through the first volume while I was out at Universal Studios just recently, and they had a copy of the first volume, and I got the page through, and there's a whole bunch more flashback stuff in that comic that we still haven't seen yet in the show that takes place like when they're actually superheroes in the Union. Not being able to see any of that stuff was a bummer. I was like, man, I thought it was really well done. It was a good show, good directing, just because it didn't have a lot of action. It had to have a lower budget because it was the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's this weird thing Netflix does with new shows. It's sort of like this formula they've been doing where they'll have a bunch of originals come out and 1 or 2 seasons, and then if it doesn't hit big numbers like Stranger Things or other big hits, they're just going to axe it. You know, there was the OA that I checked out, and that was a pretty good show, but then there's a good cliffhanger at the end of season 2, and I guess it didn't do the right enough numbers. Boom, got canceled. Same thing, Altered Carbon. That was a fun sci-fi show, and that had another, you know, stinger for season 3, but it didn't do the numbers, I guess, and got canceled. Which really sucks because those 2 shows and Jupiter's Legacy are all high-quality production.
Yep. They're all really well thought out, and there's a lot of passion behind each of them. Huge amounts of passion.
Yeah, and it's also weird, right? Because if I remember right, Jupiter's Legacy was number 1 for a while on Netflix when it came out, right?
Yeah, it was number 1 for about a week or 2 weeks, I think. So it was pretty high up there for a minute. So I don't really know where the decision comes from to cancel the series. I wonder if we'll ever find out. Maybe there'll be some panel or something at a convention down the line where the actors or somebody will talk about it. That would be cool.
Yeah, here's hoping we could get something like that. But yeah, that's a bummer. And yeah, again, we're getting replaced by Super Crooks, which is just another series from Mark Millar. It's another series I don't know anything about. Looking at the cover, it looks more or less the same type of themes as his other comics do.
Wow, this is a great way to build the Miller World universe, isn't it?
Yeah, because this was the first one that they put out.
I wonder, I'm so curious about why this show didn't work out. I'm so curious.
Oh, okay, this is interesting. I didn't know this. Super Crooks is set in the same universe as Jupiter's Legacy.
Oh.
It says,
okay.
Although it may not involve some of the same characters, this series focuses more on the villains of the universe. Okay, and the series is a bunch of con artists teamed up, and they are planning a major heist.
Maybe it's just a Jupiter's Legacy is canceled for now type of deal.
Yeah, maybe they're just putting it on the side while they expand the universe more.
Oh, well, Josh Duhamel posted an Instagram post that's pretty telling. Damn. Yeah, it's a picture of him shirtless with the hair and the beard. And it says, when you get dumped by Netflix and you have to put yourself back out there, hashtag sexy Santa summer, what's up Hulu?
Oh, man. You hate to see that, yeah. Yeah, again, I hope they could bring him back and the whole crew for season 2.
According to Nielsen, Jupiter's Legacy was the top original series on Netflix for its May 7th premiere week, so it was top for a week, but it didn't make the numbers to get a second season. And then there's a statement from Miller. I'm really proud of what the team achieved with Jupiter's Legacy and the amazing work Every did on that origin season. I've been asked a lot about what we're planning next with this world, and the answer is to see what the supervillains are getting up to. Miller added that he's working on a spin-off series, Super Crooks, which is set in the same fictional universe as Jupiter's Legacy, but focuses on villains instead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with Jupiter's Legacy, we didn't get a whole lot of the villains, aside from really the two major ones that were involved with the story. So the anime for Super Crooks, that's going to be by Bones. They're the people that do My Hero, which is crazy. They're getting a Japanese studio to do it. I figured it'd be somebody out here. But that's cool. And it's supposed to be released later this year, 13 episodes. And then, later this month, we're going to be seeing a first look at the Annecy Festival. Okay, and next weekend is this festival, so we're going to get a first look. Yeah, again, unfortunate. I hope we could actually see some of the cast return for the spinoff if it's set in the same world.
Yeah, that would be cool. It doesn't sound like Josh Duhamel's coming back.
Maybe someone like Brandon could come in, like get Paragon in there to stop this heist, or to try to stop the heist.
I was gonna say Paragon might show up. I would put more stock on maybe the sister and the boyfriend guy showing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he could. I could see him being involved. It depends when it's set, right? I think if it's around the same time as Jupiter's Legacy, we could definitely see him pop up. That's when apparently he's been doing a lot of those heists and stuff, trying to get the things he needs to go find his dad.
Yeah, man, it's just such a bummer that it's just all completely out, like it's canceled. I feel like this only really would have needed a second season to finish up what it wanted to.
Yeah, you could wrap up nicely with the Walter story at least.
Yeah, I think that's all I really would have wanted.
Yeah, and then maybe season 3 could be focusing on Paragon taking over the Union or something, and him being the leader and the challenges that come with that.
That would have been really cool. I would have loved that.
Again, if you guys haven't seen it, definitely recommend season 1 for Jupiter's Legacy. Well, moving on to some Marvel news here. Right off the bat, we could just get this out of the way. The Eternals trailer dropped.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't really have a whole lot to say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's about as exciting as those the promo of them in the big promo thing, which is that it wasn't exciting at all. I think they're shoehorning the Eternals in the dumbest way possible. They've been around for 7,000 years, but they didn't help out in Endgame or Infinity War or Doctor Strange, Battle of New York. There's a lot that they just didn't show up for, I guess.
Yeah, as they say in the trailer, they didn't want to interfere with the rest of the world. Like, they were just there to teach in the beginning and then observe the rest. Which is weird because, like, in the beginning stuff with the trailer, it's like they're very present with society, like they're interacting with people.
Yeah, it's almost like they actually just gave people a bunch of stuff real early on, and they did interact and interfere. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and honestly, like the feel I got with this movie is that I don't understand what it's gonna be about. Like it's just them going through the years, and then eventually there's gonna be a big bad that they have to fight.
I've heard it's these things that they got to fight called deviants, which are like eternal level things, but they're bad guys. Like they're called deviants because they go outside the norm or something. I don't know. And then there was like that toy leak that had like the big bad villain, and he just looked like a weird energy monster thing. Do you remember that from a while back? I think that was
I remember. Yeah, we did. I think we talked about it on the show.
Oh, Crow. That's it.
That's what it was.
It's Crow. Yeah, okay. It's really boring looking. That's right. Oh my god. It's so boring looking. That's a guy. That's he's an evil looking guy.
Yeah, just a CG monster to fight. I mean.
Yep. You know, I don't like to predict certain things in movies that I think are going to happen, but I'm pretty sure some of the Eternals aren't going to make it past this movie, and I'm not sure exactly which ones I think will die, but I think they'll be the more minor characters of the team. Like, I don't think his character's going to make it past the movie. I think his will die. Okay. I think, oh gosh, what are all the names of these people? I don't even know. All right,
so yeah, if I had to guess, Leah McHugh, who plays Sprite, I don't think they're going to make it. Maybe Rob Stark's not going to make it. I don't know. He's pretty prevalent in the trailer, though, right? So.
Yep, but the whole thing with the love interest lady person is that in the comics, she's in a relationship with Black Knight.
Yeah, who is the other Stark boy.
Yes, Mr. Kit Harington, who I believe will continue to... He'll make it through the movie.
Yeah,
I feel like Black Knight will make it. I don't think Brian Tyree Henry's character is going to live. I don't think he's going to make it.
Jolie, Jolie will probably make it. Salma Hayek's going to make it.
Yeah, Salma Hayek I think is an iffy one. I think she could potentially go too. I think Angelina Jolie might make it, but Salma Hayek might not. Or it'll be the other way around. I think there's only room enough on this team for one older lady.
One big name on the roster, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that some of these characters aren't gonna stick around past the movie.
Yeah, because you have to trim the cast down because these are a lot of characters that we're gonna have to establish and go through.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is that there's a lot of people to talk about in this movie, and I'm just like, that's a lot of characters to all introduce at one time.
Yeah, it's like 9 or 10 main characters.
And then obviously Druig, the bad guy's probably gonna die. Because Druig is also a villain, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, this trailer just really did nothing for me. Because it just felt like, it just feels like whatever. Like let's just walk around and go through time. And then we're going to fight a CG monster at the end that grows like these tentacles or whatever out of his arms.
Yeah, I would imagine that it's going to be a thing of like Druig made a pact with one of the deviants, and they're like, but now we will go back on our pact. You die! And then Druig will get stabbed by a long tentacle thing. And then all the other Eternals will be like, no, he was our brother. And then there'll be a death scene, and then some of them will die in the fight against Crow or whatever, and then it'll be like Icarus who makes the final sacrifice because he's the strongest character on the team. He's basically got Captain Marvel level powers from what I've heard. So they can't have him around, right? Because only Captain Marvel can be Captain Marvel. So he'll probably die by the end of the movie. Especially with his whole thing in the trailer of wanting to be the new leader of the Avengers.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. It's the stinger for the trailer, and who was the character I said? Sprite, I think is the name, right?
Oh yeah, the little kid looking one.
Yeah, Sprite says, so now that Captain Rogers, not Captain America, Captain Rogers and Iron Man are gone. So I'm guessing this is obviously after Falcon Winter Soldier, if they're saying Captain Rogers.
I have no idea when this is supposed to be set. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it is set in modern day because of that last shot where they're gonna fight Crow. We see modern people in like a park or something.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just weird that they said Captain Rogers instead of Captain America.
Unless it's like in between Endgame and Falcon and Winter Soldier or something. But Falcon and Winter Soldier picks up like what, the week after Endgame or something?
It's pretty shortly after Endgame.
I don't know. I don't know. But also I don't know if I care that much about wanting to know where this is set.
Yeah, I mean, even if we get another trailer that's action packed, I don't think that's gonna convince me to go see this movie.
Nah, I don't know. It's gonna take a lot. I don't know. I think there's too many characters. I think that's my biggest thing. I think there's too many people to introduce and talk about. And I know that Marvel is saying that this is one of the most
right,
like the most bestest, most coolest movies they've ever made.
Yeah, Kevin Feige himself is quoted by saying that. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think this one's got not a whole lot going for it for me. I'm also just not a big fan of the special effects of how they like conjure shit and stuff, like how they conjure things.
Yeah, with those weird
like gold lines or something. Like
yeah, it's like gold wires. Yeah,
yeah. It's not really that interesting visually to me. And I feel like they should all be like different colors for like their different colors on their uniforms or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's supposed to be that they all have cosmic power, but like they all have the power cosmic, and that's how they're going to portray it as like gold wire, which I think is so uninteresting compared to how they show it off in the comic books. Because power cosmic is like a blue pulsating light power thing.
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah,
in the comics, it's super dope. Like Cosmic Spider-Man is like the thing that I always think of. And he's got like that crazy blue and black suit that's like super pulsating with power all the time. And I'm just like, man, that's what power cosmic's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look dope and awesome and like radiating and stuff. But it's like, no, it doesn't. Lines, piano wires.
Yeah, the gold wires remind me of like saying like, oh, these are of a higher plane or whatever type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
These are godlike beings, so this is kind of like how they represent their powers.
It's just very strange. I don't know. I'm not really digging the visual style too much of it. I'll watch it on Disney Plus.
I mean, the only scene I'm probably interested in is because they're probably going to show it when the snap happens.
Do you think any of the Eternals disappeared in the snap?
That's what I would think, but maybe because they're cosmic beings, that doesn't count.
Like they're on a different plane of existence or something? And I guess they all come from the same planet as Thanos. They all come from Titan.
Oh, that's right, huh?
There was a post I saw earlier. I couldn't for the life of me go back and find it now, and I should have sent it in the chat. But it's something at Disneyland, in the new Avengers campus area. It's a giant panel deal that's got a picture of Thanos, and it's got a big description of him, and it talks about that he was one of the Eternals, but he was a deviant. So Thanos is a deviant from the Eternals.
Oh, okay.
So, according to the ride, which may or may not count.
Yeah, is the Guardians ride canon?
I don't think so. Maybe it is. I don't know. It could take place sometime after 2. Because Star-Lord's still wearing the rock shirt thing that he was wearing in the movie that's got like weird alien writing on it. And then they've got Mantis with them. So it obviously takes place after 2. But I don't know if it being canon really matters that much. I don't know. They get out of the collector's collection and that's it. That's the ride.
Oh, that's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anything super deep or story based. Still a really cool ride. I like it a lot.
Nice.
If you haven't been on it, it's still pretty fun because it's Tower of Terror with Guardians of the Galaxy on top of it.
Okay.
So it's a drop zone ride. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's going to actually matter or not. Thanos was a deviant.
Again, I think it'll only matter if in the movie they show the snap, which I think they might because so far everything post Endgame has involved the snap one way or another.
Yeah, like we're seeing this is the phase of seeing the repercussions.
Yeah, which is I think that's a cool idea. I remember the Age of Ultron comic, when that ended, there was a run of short comic runs where it was all the aftermath stuff and how each group of heroes and villains kind of, reacted to that. Yeah, but is that enough to keep me interested to go see this? Probably not.
I don't think there's a lot still pulling me into this at all. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm willing to bet Marvel would drop a clip of them talking about the snap on YouTube like the week Eternals is out or something.
If they can put a trailer that's got some more interesting stuff going on, I'm down. But I don't know. I also think that Marvel going ham on saying that this movie's going to be good because it was directed by an Academy Award winner is a little premature, because this movie was directed before her Academy Award winning film was directed. This was pre-Academy Award material, so this could have been the movie that she used to prep and make mistakes on before she made her big Oscar-winning movie.
It's such a weird movie to have confidence in because they're trying to do the ensemble piece again, but from what we see, there's really not that humor that Guardians brought in. Yeah, I don't know. If I had a bet, it would probably be because of the set pieces that we're going to be going through, right? Because we saw a lot of different areas we're going in the movie throughout the years and through each character. So that's probably where they're going to be like, oh, people are going to love this a lot when they get to this part of the story.
Yeah, and I know that they played up in one of the trailers that the movie is majorly shot on location. Like, there isn't a ton of CGI in it, supposedly, in terms of the sets and stuff.
Yeah, the director said that, right?
Yeah, I think the director said that, but maybe. I don't know. Marvel tends to clean up a lot of things with CGI.
Oh, yeah, I mean, look at the Spider-Man films. Even with Endgame, they shot like the final battle scenes, behind green screen, but they kept the flooring the same, all the dirt and stuff. But they ended up having to clean that out with CG anyways and just replace the floor. I'll give it one more trailer, and then after that, I'll probably still say I'm good.
Yeah.
We'll see how much more info we can get on the film. Yeah, so we got some news for Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. The positive thing is we got that cool comic book cover with the cast.
Yeah, that has new costumes on all of them, which is funny because the Wanda costume is already different. She just got the new one, man.
Yeah, that's the thing with Marvel, right? Every suit is different in the films.
Yeah, but that's like Wolverine levels almost of new suitness. Like, man, like I was just like, oh, she's already got a new costume? Like, what? Good to see that Wong is rocking the same old duds. He doesn't have to change at all. Like,
oh yeah, Wong is great on his own. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's just like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't need a new suit.
And
I'm digging Doctor Strange's new look. It doesn't look super different. And I feel like you can't really change the cloak look too much because it's such a prolific object.
Yeah.
For Doctor Strange, that it's something that you can't, like, it would be like changing the look of the Eye of Agamotto. The new positioning of the Eye of Agamotto, like up near the actual like clasp line of the cape, is cool.
Yeah, I like that. Instead of a necklace, it looks like it's clasped to the cloak.
I dig that. I like that they're working in the weird cross symbol a little bit more on there too. That's looking good. It's looking nice. It means all the things with the cape and stuff mean that it'll be a lot easier for me to upgrade to when this costume finally gets shown off. So
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we get our actual first look at Miss America, who I keep forgetting is in the movie because there really is no mention of her in any news that pops up for this.
There's nothing. I don't even know who's playing her still. Like I'm sure
we got the casting.
Yeah, I'm sure we've talked about it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, she's a newer comic book character that came out within like the past 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And don't know much about her, but I think she just has super strength. I think she could fly.
She was part of the new Avengers that happened like 4 years ago or something, which is very similar to Future State in the DC Comics.
Oh yeah, she was in A-Force. I think that's when she popped. Well, she started her own series, and then she joined everyone else. Yeah, so she has a more casual look, which definitely defines the New Age heroes, right? She's just rocking a jacket that has the American flag on it.
Yeah, she doesn't need an actual uniform or costume. It's a jacket.
Yeah, 2011 is when she came out.
Okay.
Yeah, so 10 years ago. Okay.
Oh my gosh, 10 years ago. Whew.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
One of her abilities is interdimensional travel. I did not know that. Okay, she was raised in the utopian parallel, a reality that is out of time and in the presence of the being known as the Demiurge.
Okay.
So is she gonna be the one that recruits Doctor Strange then?
Oh no.
Is that what happens? She informs Doctor Strange of, or maybe something's going on, and then Doctor Strange is trying to figure out what's going on, and that's when Miss America shows up. Alright, so Demiurge, if I'm pronouncing that right, is the sentient life force of Earth's biosphere, who seeded the Earth with pieces of its own life essence, giving birth to the Elder Gods.
Interesting.
Okay.
Is that going to be an Eternals connection?
Possibly. We're getting to that realm of comics that I'm not super familiar with.
I don't know any of this stuff, man. This is... all I'm saying is that all the A and B listers are gone. I don't not like any of these characters, but they're also not characters that I care about too much. I like Doctor Strange for like his most basic stuff, but I haven't read a ton of his comics, so I don't know what any of this stuff is about.
Yeah, everything I hear from my friend who is a big fan of Doctor Strange, he's like, yeah, the comics are amazing, man. Even the recent stuff's pretty good. I was like, oh, okay.
Cool.
So in other Doctor Strange news, I think you know more about this than me, but apparently they said that Sam Raimi and I guess the other writer rewrote the script.
Oh yeah, the article that I read said that the script was completely thrown out from Scott Derrickson and they rewrote it from scratch. So anything that Scott Derrickson wrote that he had ideas for this movie, it's probably gone. I can't imagine them keeping a whole lot of his original ideas if they completely tore it apart and like just went from the ground up. So now I'm always going to be kind of sad that we won't know Scott Derrickson's version of the movie. I would implore him super hard to release it because I would love to read what he had install for a sequel to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the other writer, which is the Loki head writer, Michael Waldron. Right when they wrapped up Loki, he said, is when Feige approached him to rewrite Doctor Strange 2. He further explains that because of COVID, they had plenty of time to rewrite it, so he talked a lot with Sam Raimi for the film. And yeah, they started from scratch.
Man.
So, yeah, we're probably just going to be seeing a different movie then.
Yeah, I can't imagine. This movie will not be scary. I guarantee it. The movie that Scott Derrickson probably had in his head of doing something that was absolutely terrifying, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I really don't. And I know that Sam Raimi is like a horror director by trade, but I don't know if Disney's going to give him that much freedom. I really don't.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Loki yet. That actually premieres next week, which I forgot it was like already coming up. But I doubt we're gonna get anything like that on that show.
Like scary multiverse stuff?
Yeah, it's just gonna be...
I mean, Owen Wilson's in it, man. It's not...
Yeah, it's just a buddy cop film, right? That's
yeah,
what it's gonna be.
I think that's kind of what they're playing it up to be.
Yeah, which would be good for Strange and Wong if they get a lot of screen time together, right? Because I like their dynamic a lot.
Yeah,
I'd like to see more of that.
If Strange and Wong are like the main focus of the film, like just them going around and doing stuff, that would be awesome. But I know it's not going to be because we have to deal with Wanda and America Chavez. This is not going to be Doctor Strange's movie, I don't think. I hope it is. That's kind of where I'm at. I really hope it is, but I don't have high hopes.
Yeah, well, it's crazy, man. We've always said here on Marvel Talk, like, it's time, like, post Phase 2, where's the crossover content? We need more of that. But now we're getting it, but it's crowded. It feels too crowded now. Like, we just talked about Eternals, Doctor Strange, Thor: Love and Thunder. Is that really going to be Thor's movie? I don't think so.
No. Well, it just depends on who you think of as Thor, Danny. Who do you think is Thor?
Excuse me, it'll be a Thor movie. You're right. How could I forget? Whether it's Odinson or Foster, that's kind of, maybe the first act is only going to be our Thor, and then Jane Foster's going to kick in the rest.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Phase 4 feels so all over the place to me, man. There's a focus that's been lost, I think.
Yeah. Well, then also, right, Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's a crowded. If the rumors are true, that's a very crowded film.
I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah. And it also sucks more for Far From Home because that's supposed to be a follow-up from, No Way Home. These home names are not good.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a follow-up to Far From Home. So for it to be crowded, I think we've said it before, where it's going to be pushed away from what the main plot should be, right? Because we're going to get distracted.
Man, I don't know. All this stuff just feels it almost feels rushed in a way. I don't really know how to describe it, which is weird because they've had so much time to work on it all. It comes off as so strange to me, the way they've handled this whole deal. I don't know. All this stuff it's all just like mildly interesting, but nothing is, I don't actively want to see any of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, nothing from the MCU is standing out right now.
No, there is Marvel content that is very good right now.
Yes.
That looks very interesting, but it is not part of the MCU proper. Or it is, or it isn't. We don't really know. I can report back after next week about Loki, because I got invited to a cool fan event.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll probably do an episode about the first episode of Loki, because I think that's all we're going to see there at the event, is just the first episode. And it's not even like that early. We get to see it the day before everybody else does. So
okay. Yeah, right on. Yeah, so next week we'll be focusing on Loki, first impressions on the show. We'll get some inside look at what this event's all about. Heck yeah.
I am not part of the nerd crew, nor have I ever been. And this is just by happenstance that they sent me an email to join this event. So this is not sponsored content, but that'll be cool. It'll be a fun time. I'm hoping we see, maybe some people from the show. Be kind of neat to end up at the event where they show up for a fan thing, right? Like
Owen Wilson, perhaps? That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. Because, I love Tom Hiddleston, but I've met him at 2 Avengers premieres now. And I haven't met Owen Wilson yet, so...
So the only other real MCU, like the movie side of things for news is we did get some set photos for Thor: Love and Thunder with our boy Chris Hemsworth, and he's looking pretty jacked.
Super jacked, man. That shot of him and Taika Waititi, whew, he's monstrous.
Yeah, that's clearly after a fresh pump just from the scene.
Yep.
Yeah, looking massive.
But it's good to see that we will see none of the least the stoop. I hate Fat Thor. We won't see him. Yeah. We're not going to see Fat Thor. I'm very happy. We're not going to see him. Oh my god.
Yeah, if I had to guess, we're going to get a joke early on with the Guardians of how he's not fat anymore.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Like maybe Star-Lord will still have a little bit of padding, and then he'll look over at Thor and he's like, "Man, you worked out for 2 days and you got fit. How is that possible?"
Exactly. Yeah, it'll probably be something like that. And just looking at that photo specifically of Chris Hemsworth kind of makes me feel like, oh, is this sort of going with the theme of the movie of it's supposed to be sort of like an 80s kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 80s vibe with the crazy jeans and the tank top and stuff, and the hairstyle too, right down to that.
There was also that other set photo of it's probably just him relaxing, but he was wearing a headband.
And then there's the one of him wearing like the baseball hat with Taika, and he's got like the trucker hair. Like,
yeah,
he looks straight up like he's right out of Big Trouble in Little China. Like he could fit right in that movie. Thor himself is looking good. That's what I'll say. Thor himself looks good. Oh, I just noticed his tank top has Mjolnir on it.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm wondering if that is,
or is that
film.
the life tree?
Oh no, that is the life tree.
Yeah, that's the different worlds.
Yeah, Yggdrasil. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What?
And then there's the Bifrost emblem right behind it.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll actually mean anything in the movie, or if it's just a cool like, oh yeah, no, it's just a costume piece.
Maybe it's just a merch piece that he's wearing.
Oh, maybe. Like this is like,
I don't know, because Taika's in the mocap, or he has the cam set up, so maybe that is part of this film.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, what did he look like when he was seen in the vest? Like that shot of him with Star-Lord.
Oh right, yeah.
Gosh, Thor.
He is wearing a tank top. Oh, you know what? He's wearing the same shirt.
Oh snap! So that is a costume part.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, Star-Lord's jacket's looking really nice.
Star-Lord looks so good, man. Like, he looks so good. I love it. I'm loving that whole gauntlet thing and the shoulder pad. Like, all I'm saying is that they've always rocked Star-Lord's costumes. They've always looked really good. Hasn't been a single Star-Lord costume I've hated. Not one. I wonder if they'll give Star-Lord a more accurate helmet at some point.
Did it change between 1 and 2 and Endgame?
Nope. Same helmet the whole way through.
Same helmet, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something they're not gonna. I mean, because like Cap's helmet didn't really change, right?
No, his helmet stayed pretty similar after. It was past Avengers 1. Like once he got past Avengers 1, his helmet stayed the same.
But yeah, so this set photo was to commemorate the wrapping of filming for Love and Thunder, so now it's just post-production and possible reshoots later. That was it for the MCU movie stuff. We did get a couple things for the TV shows. There was the set photos for She-Hulk. We see Mark Ruffalo there.
Oh, really? I didn't see those.
Yeah, I think these just popped up like the past few days. Yeah, but that was it for She-Hulk, really.
Okay.
And then the last thing for the MCU stuff, just to get it out of the way, there's rumors that Okoye is going to get her own spin-off show on Disney+. Disney hasn't said anything yet, but I don't see why we need this.
I don't know who asked for it. I don't know who wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to expand the more Wakandan side of the MCU and focus on the, was it the Dorj Malaj?
The Dora Milaje.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense for having an Okoye show because she's the leader, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she's the leader of that group.
Yeah. Well, she was in the A4 shot too, right? We can't forget that.
Oh yeah, they gotta bring all those people back together for the next one.
Yeah. I'm not interested, honestly.
No.
All the Wakanda stuff we got in the first movie was kind of so-so.
Yeah, and from what I understand, all the Wakanda stuff that's in Falcon and Winter Soldier is also kind of so-so.
I mean, yeah, they just show up for, maybe 4 scenes, and that's kind of it.
Nothing.
Yeah, they're just there to recapture Zemo.
Oh, okay.
But all right, man, let's get out of the MCU and get into some more exciting news.
Yes!
We got to hit with the big boy over at Sony. We for the Kraven movie, we got the casting for Kraven.
Yes, dude.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I'm so excited. He's like a perfect casting. Like the way he looks now and everything, I was like, that's inspired. It's so good. I'm really excited to see him meet up with Venom and Morbius and for them to just be making breakfast together one day. It's going to be a great time. I'm so stoked. I'm ready. Bring it on. Build up your Sony Avengers. Build them up.
Yeah, I didn't have a pick on my end of who I wanted to see as Kraven. I thought they would go an older actor.
For a minute, I was toying with the idea of Pierce Brosnan being like Kraven. Would have been kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Like he'd be a real interesting Kraven, like an older one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like he got maybe too old. I don't know.
Right.
But I always thought he would have been kind of interesting. But Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's good stuff.
Yeah, great pick. Honestly, I'm a big fan of him. I like all the films he's been in.
Yep.
That I've seen, and he's gonna play well. I think, especially whenever he's gonna meet, Tom Hardy and Jared Leto. I think all of their chemistry will probably be something nice to see on screen.
Yeah. My brain just had a crossed wire right now, and when you said Jared Leto, I was like, when is he going to meet Joker? And I was like, oh right, no, that's Morbius, duh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, my brain. But yeah, I think all three of them are going to be a very interesting trio to watch on screen. Do we know if there's another Sony Marvel character they're doing before they do like any crossover stuff yet? Are they still doing a Black Cat movie? Is that happening?
I was just thinking about that. The last news we talked about was a long time ago. I think they pushed it on the shelf. Let's see. Oh, hey, yesterday's is reportedly back in development for Sony's Black Cat movie.
Okay. All right. Oh, 2 days ago, there's a bunch of articles going out that are saying Sony teases there's actually a plan to connect Spider-Man to studios' other Marvel movies. So it sounds like Tom Holland's Spider-Man might still be getting pulled over to the Sony universe. Oh,
well, I don't know. Did you see that stuff that Sony mentioned about the Disney deal?
No. What did they say?
They said the relationship with Disney has been pretty good, and they're looking forward to working together further with Spider-Man.
Oh.
Or something along the lines. So they're probably going to extend the Sony contract to keep Tom Holland in the MCU, and then maybe say like, hey, we got these films that people want to spend money on. It'd be cool if they could cross over at some point.
I would be down for that. Oh, right, because the Black Cat movie is going to be Silver Sable and Black Cat.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Because they were two separate movies.
Yes.
And then at some point they just put them together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what the Kraven movie is going to be about. Because my idea was maybe he's trying to hunt Venom or Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just to get that connection started early.
Maybe.
Or is he just going to just fight some random, I don't want to say no name, but just some other villain?
Oh, man, you know what would be cool? What if it was Claw? Like Ulysses, Ulysses Claw. What if he was the villain?
Oh.
Like, what if they just were like, he died in the other movie, but he's still alive in this universe?
Mm.
Andy Serkis is already involved in these movies.
Yeah, he's director for Venom 2.
Exactly.
Super excited for it, yeah.
Exactly.
When did Claw die? Black Panther?
Yeah, he died in the Black Panther movie. So
yeah, that sucks. Right.
But this is an alternate universe, maybe. I mean, nobody in this universe seems to know anything about the Avengers yet, unless that Venom 2 trailer is accurate on that one shot of a newspaper or something.
Yeah. Well, like we said last time, right? Andy Serkis said it's like they're just not aware of the MCU, which is a weird way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just to save face and say like, yeah, that's why nobody's here, because they're just not paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be really strange.
Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see like Aaron Taylor Johnson try to hunt. Probably Morbius would be the best bet, I guess, because Venom's already fighting Carnage, and for him to fight somebody else in the next film might be a little too much off the bat.
What I was thinking is they could go way small scale with it and make it a total origin story for Kraven. About him like living in the jungle and killing the tiger that like murders his wife or whatever. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, just do a completely disconnected origin story movie about Kraven the Hunter. And then maybe the post-credits stinger is he sees like the fight between Venom and Carnage on TV or something. And he's like, that's my game. That's the next thing I have to hunt.
You know what? I would like that.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun way to introduce him, and then it would really do a good job of painting him up as not necessarily like a full villain. Like he would be like, you get to sympathize with him a lot and everything, and find out why he is the way he is. I think that would be a really cool plot.
Yeah, with that type of scenario, you could get a lot with Aaron Taylor Johnson really developing Kraven as well.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly going to be him on screen dealing with, this tiger.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm thinking.
It's going to be a lot of development. Yeah.
Or I guess it's a lion.
Or a lion, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lion. I thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, he doesn't wear a tiger. That would have stripes. Yeah. But yeah, I think that would be really cool if that's how they set up Kraven. Especially because Aaron Taylor Johnson still looks pretty young. So I think he could pull off a good, like, young Kraven, like, that's in the very early throes of marriage. And, like, oh, man, play it up with the same level of cheesiness as, like, X-Men Origins, man. Give me the cheesiest romance you can on screen between him and this lady. Like,
give me some of that Kue Kuatsu action going on.
Cuckoo Kachu. Yes. That's what I need, because I don't need it to be super serious until after she's gone, right? Like, then you can go as serious as you want, but like keep that opening bit goofy, man. Need that early 2000s cheese.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. And then you hard cut to the super gritty stuff that we probably would see with that story, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, because can you imagine like Aaron Taylor Johnson like running around in a jungle just like panting and just trying to take down this lion, like tracking it through the forest and stuff, and ooh, it would be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Man, I'm getting myself hyped up for a movie that may not be real.
Yeah, we just have the casting right now for the main character.
Oh my god.
All this says to me is I am still excited for the Sony Marvel universe.
Yes, very much so. If anything, their characters are still super interesting, and there's just so much stuff they can still try, and not have to worry about timelines and stuff as much, which is really cool.
So right on, man. While we're still on Sony, we got some new casting for Into the Spider-Verse 2. And it is Issa Rae. She is going to be voicing Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman. She's been in like a bunch of small stuff. Don't recognize her, but I had it in here because it's cool to see, Spider-Woman's going to be in here.
She's a majorly 70s character, 70s, 80s, I want to say, in the comic books. Like, she was bigger back then. I think.
Oh, Jessica Drew?
Yeah, Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman. Is she the one who becomes the symbiote Spider-Woman?
No, that's the other Spider-Woman that ends up in a coma for just decades until I think the first Spider-Verse comic
Julia
run,
Carpenter is that Spider-Woman. Yeah.
She woke up in the first big Spider-Man crossover.
Yeah.
But no, Jessica Drew she's been the main Spider-Woman for a majority of the time. They tried a new direction with her character, where she had this new outfit that looked pretty cool. It was like a jacket. It was like this leather jacket she wore that had like a spider theme on it that looked cool.
Oh yeah, she had like the cool little vest thing, and she had like some goggles and stuff. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
That not a bad outfit. That's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm. But then the run after, or the arc after that, she ended up being pregnant while still being a hero, and then she's currently just a mom while still being Spider-Woman. But I'm not keeping up with the comics anymore, so I don't know exactly what they're doing with her.
Yeah.
But I know she teams up a lot with Captain Marvel, I guess.
Oh man, this is from last year. What? Okay. Did you know they were making a Jessica Drew movie, like by itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when Sony announced like all these films that they want to do with the Spider-Man characters. She was one of them.
Yeah. Olivia Wilde is directing it. Yeah, this was as of August last year. Olivia Wilde has closed a deal to direct and develop a secret Marvel film project revolving around a female character in the universe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's probably way down the pipeline anyways for Sony stuff. But yeah, so that's cool. She's going to be in Spider-Verse 2.
Oh, did you see the news that they're trying to get back the animated series Spider-Man for it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the 90s cartoon Spider-Man. Like they're going to try and bring him into the movie cuz the voice actor's still around. So like they're like, "Oh, well let's put him in the movie too." And I was like, "Oh, yes, do that. Bring all the cartoon Spider-Mans into this one. Like we need Drake Bell. We need the Miles from the Ultimate Spider-Man show. We need all of them. Just do it. Go crazy. Like, that would be awesome. And then it would be crazy if they did 90s Spider-Man in there, because 90s Spider-Man had his own Spider-Verse episodes where there was like a Spider-Man with like 6 arms, and then there was like a Spider-Man who had like robot parts, and then there was a Spider-Man who had like metal armor. Throw them all in there. Who cares? Let's go crazy.
So right on, man. That's cool for Spider-Verse. Still 2022, so it's going to be a while before we see anything for that.
Yeah, but I mean, that animation takes a while to do.
And then the last thing for Marvel is they announced they are doing another scripted podcast called Wastelanders Old Man Star-Lord.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I remember a while back when Old Man Logan was doing a run, and then Old Man Hawkeye had like a 13-issue run that I recommend. I like that one. Around that time, they did Old Man Star-Lord, and I sadly never picked it up to check out what was going on. If I had to guess, this is probably going to be similar to that story. And we got the synopsis for it. It is Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon. Peter Quill's voiced by Timothy Busfield.
Cool.
And then Rocket is voiced by Chris Elliott.
Oh, that's a good choice for an old Rocket. Oh, that's such a good choice. That's cool.
The synopsis is they crash on Earth 30 years after the supervillains won in the Old Man Logan universe. They're on a mission to find the Black Vortex. Okay.
Oh, they're going to find the Black Vortex? That's cool.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Black Vortex is like this mirror, essentially, that the Guardians and the all-new X-Men find in a crossover that grants them cosmic powers. Oh, and they're sent there by the Collector, and they have these collars strapped on their necks to make sure that they don't escape. Oh, and from there, they're going to encounter Emma Frost, some Ghost Riders, and Kraven the Hunter. Wow.
Ooh, cool.
Man, I think it's time to pick up this comic then to see if it's similar to this.
Yeah, I was just looking at some panels from it, and it's there's a good moment here with Peter Quill finding out that the rest of the Guardians are no longer with him.
Yeah, the one things I liked about the Old Man Hawkeye comic was the world building it did for that universe.
Cool.
It was focused on Hawkeye before he went blind. And eventually he meets Kate Bishop and they team up and try to do this stuff. And it's a good time. And this is going to be written by the same person that wrote Wolverine the Long Night, which is Benjamin Percy. That's the first scripted podcast they did. As a reminder, we were sponsored by that. If you use promo code TALK on Stitcher, that should still work. Get you the free 30-day trial for Stitcher Premium. The first episode is up now.
Nice.
Yeah, so you could grab that on Stitcher, like I said, Pandora, SiriusXM, I think is the main place that they're going with, and then Apple Podcasts, of course, and Spotify. Yeah, I thought I'd throw that in there because, Old Man Star-Lord's interesting, and them going the podcast route's also interesting as well.
Yeah, that's always fun to see. I always like it when they're able to do a different medium for this stuff, because it gives some more freedom for some of the other stories to be told.
Oh, I guess episode 2 is already out.
Oh, nice.
And with that, that's pretty much it for Marvel. So let's go ahead and move on over to some DC talk. We got a lot of teases for some suits for future movies. The first one was a quick teaser for the Black Adam suit. We really didn't get to see anything other than the cloak that The Rock is wearing.
There was a second picture that showed like a hint of the material that it's made out of, because he was like in the cloak, but he was like in eating somewhere. Like it was like a trailer, like a backstage shot of him somewhere.
Oh, I see it right here. Yeah, so he's sitting at his desk and he's wearing the suit, but of course he has like the tarp over it. So we get a small glimpse at the collar piece.
There you go.
And then you get to see the
gauntlets. There it is. Yep. So, which I love the detail on the gauntlets. Those look really good. Just that little hint of a thing looks pretty good on his chest right there. I don't know.
I liked how intimidating he looked in the official teaser. And then while we're talking Black Adam, of course, we got to talk about your boy Shazam.
Yes.
We got a full look
yes.
of the new suit.
Yes. It's so good. Okay. I'm happy that we're seeing the suit. I'm happy we're seeing it. It's cool. It reminds me a lot of how we saw the first suit. Very similar, kind of like, oh, first time we see anything about it is in set photos. I think this suit looks a little busy.
Yeah, a lot of texture I'm seeing. 2 tones in the red right on the sides of his suit.
Yeah, it's looking a little busy. It's not bad. But I loved how uniform the original suit was. Like, I have a lot of love for that first costume. I do like the lightning bolt on this one a lot.
Yeah, we're going more old school with it.
As long as it lights up. That's my thing. As long as it lights up, because I think that's the joke of the little teaser trailer that got released, is that it doesn't light up. And he says, "Can we get
Zachary Levi saying, why is it so dark?"
Yeah, can we get a light on in here? Even one? Like, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's a joke towards, like, they don't even have the suit lit up yet. Like,
because the first suit, when they filmed, they had actual lights installed into it,
yes,
right?
it was a full physical deal on the light that was only slightly enhanced with CG.
Right. Yeah, probably for the glows and stuff.
Yeah, which was great though. But that's how they got like the glow on people's faces and on Shazam's face and stuff. Because it was a physical part of the costume. And even the one they had at WonderCon, that was the official suit used in the movie, had a light up chest panel on it as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we gotta look at that. That's right.
Yeah. So, this suit I think looks pretty good. I would have kept closer to the first Gauntlet designs. I don't like these ones.
I was just thinking the same thing.
The new gauntlets don't look good. I'm not a fan. I think they're way too... They look like reused Batman parts to me. Just like painted up red and gold.
Why cut to the last quarter of it being red?
Yeah, I don't like that. It doesn't look very good. I think the whole thing should be gold. Because that's how Shazam has always looked. He's always had full gold gauntlet pieces on him, like in every version that he's ever been. So this, I think is probably the part that I don't like the most. I can get past a lot of the other stuff, but those gauntlets, man, they don't look very good. I don't like the silver thingies on him. It comes off very, like CW Superman to me, in terms of like how much more detail they're trying to add onto it. But if this has something to do with Black Adam waking up after like a big sleep, and his waking up influences the way all their suits look, like it's like a symbiotic thing, like all of their suits change, like we see a shift into why this suit looks the way it does. Okay. I think that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, because if you look at everybody else, all their suits are similar to Shazam.
Yeah, they all have like slight differences, but they're all very similar to his suit in the first movie. And we know from the guy who plays the adult version of Eugene, he already stated like a couple weeks ago that they were getting new suits. Like there's new suits for the movie, and they look really sick. So you just gotta wait to see them. And he posted a picture with the old suit. And I was like, you tease. But now we get to see the new style. And maybe these little silver things will look better on the other costumes. I don't know, like they'll blend in better. I just think they stick out really bad on this one in particular.
Yeah, they do.
Because I think if those just weren't there, I think the suit would look a lot better. Like, to me, at least.
Yeah, well, I'd also take the red off the gauntlets too.
Yeah, like make the gauntlets fully gold and take away the silver pieces, and I think you're pretty solid. Because I kind of dig that it's got almost more of a Man of Steel kind of look now.
Well, see, I always thought the first suit had a Man of Steel vibe with it. Just the way the texture was on the suit.
Yeah, that too. I also like that texture you could only really see in close-up shots. I liked that it was something that you couldn't see from far away. Like, it made his design a lot more pleasing to my eye, I think.
In the first suit.
Yeah, in the first suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like this one has like a lot of detail. And obviously,
yeah, especially like the shoulder area too. Like that's so different.
like the weird fin thing happening up there. Like,
yeah, maybe it's to help show off his muscles.
Could be. I'm also wondering if maybe that's a portion that's going to be affected by the cloak in CG.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
But Zachary Levi is looking good, man. He looks good in the suit. Yeah.
He's looking great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that in the first movie, the set photos we got of him, like there was a lot of him in a parka while he was wearing the suit. And now in this one, he's got a little face fan because it's too hot.
Yeah, I
like
saw
it's
that.
the opposite. It's the opposite issue. Oh, I didn't even notice this. You can see the backsides of Eugene and Pedro's heads in one of the shots. They're like the kid versions of him.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, where they're like sitting on the bench in front of him and he's looking over. And I'm sure this will look better after they like touch it up with CGI and stuff. And I'm just real happy that it's David Sandberg again, man. He's so good at what he's doing. I'm pretty stoked for this second movie. I'm really excited.
Right on, man. We got the other tease, like I mentioned, which is for Michael Keaton's suit for the Flash movie.
With a little bit of blood splatter on there. Very similar to a look as like for Watchmen type deal.
Yeah, and it's just the emblem, which looks nice.
Yep.
Got that nice classic look for it, yeah.
It's got a little scuffage going on. Seems like it's been around for a while, you know? Is that pretty similar to the original Keaton?
Or is Keaton's old suit more oval-like on the symbol?
I'm pulling it up right now so I can see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's more oval-like on the in the original.
Yeah, he's got some extra armor or something going on behind the symbol. I'm wondering if it's going to be like a Batman Beyond. Oh, no, wait. It's more like his look in the second movie. Okay, I see it. Never mind.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
The second movie is a little bit more armored looking.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm seeing everything.
Yeah, like how it's got like the weird U shape. I'm real curious how Andy Muschietti's going to handle this movie because he's the guy who did both the It movies.
We could go ahead and move on to the TV side of DC. We got some news. Well, actually, no. While we're talking Flash, there was something brought up about Flash from the Snyder Cut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this thing. Oh, yeah, this thing.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, it was the Warner Brother editors?
Yeah.
That were working on Justice League?
I think so.
They came out recently and said that they just didn't understand the time travel scene where the mother boxes go off, there's a big explosion, and Barry has to run faster than he ever did, and we see the construction of the world coming back as he's time traveling. So the quote was, "It can be really easy to lose track of the story you're trying to tell and not lose the thread for that kind of sequence." Special effects supervisor Kevin Andrews Smith, that is what he said, which...
I don't get it. Like, it makes total sense to me, the way that it's shown visually. Like, especially with Superman's hand, like, reforming. Like, I don't...
Yeah, like, it was brought up during the resurrection scene of when he travels that fast and messes with time, and then we got the subtle hint of Barry actually time traveling when he made contact with the mother box before it hit the water. So, like, that was supposed to be built up to that moment.
Which is why in the Joss Whedon one, they had to recut the dialogue to make it sound like he had to touch the box at just the right second for it to go off.
Well, no, that was still the same dialogue. It's just we didn't get to see the time travel section.
No, because in the new one, it was just, he didn't have to touch it at a specific moment. It was just, he had to build up enough power to power the box, to turn it on in Zack Snyder's version.
I thought Cyborg still told him that you have to touch it at right when it makes contact with the water. That's why the time travel had to happen, because it already hit the water.
I don't remember.
Because the extra stuff in the Snyder Cut was Barry explaining what happens when he moves that fast.
Yeah.
That stuff wasn't in the Whedon.
Well, because I thought the whole point of him running that fast was to generate enough electricity to turn on the box. Because
that is true. Yeah, that's still true.
Because the whole impetus of the scene in the Whedon version is that if he doesn't touch it at the right time, then they failed. But it's like you could just pick the box back up and do it again. Like there's no reason to not try a second time. Whereas in the Snyder version, there's no risk of that because it's just like we're just gonna drop the box in the water and then you touch it to turn it on. Like you don't have to do any crazy timing stuff. But maybe that was still a part of it. I don't know.
Because if it wasn't, why would we get the time travel tease in that scene?
I think it's because of the amount of energy that Barry had to build up. Like I think that's the implication.
Yeah,
of that.
Well, that is true too.
Like I think that's what they're implying is that Barry can supercharge like that, but it's really risky for him to do it because he'll start messing with time. I think that's what they were going for. I'd have to.
Yeah, well,
you know what?
That's definitely
you know what
was.
We got to rewatch it. That's the solution.
Yeah.
Go rewatch it, everybody. Everybody else go rewatch it too. Go watch Snyder Cut.
I still remember Cyborg saying that, like, yeah, you have to touch it when it makes contact with the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably still in there. I may just be misremembering.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't understand what's confusing about the Flash scene. Maybe it's him running and things are being reconstructed.
I mean, I guess, but it doesn't seem that confusing in terms of, maybe it was just confusing in terms of how to actually cut the shots together or something, like because there wasn't enough, like, because the whole sequence is CG, maybe because it was just shots of him running with like panning camera movement that it didn't quite translate to the editors or something.
Yeah, and I mean, this was also during when it was going to be the 3-hour cut, and then when Whedon took over, so they probably had to trim a lot of fat, and maybe just throwing that in there was too long, and it kind of just didn't make sense with what was going on at that moment.
Let's see, the visual effects supervisor, John DJ Desjardins, or Desjardins, I don't know how to spell it. Say your name. I apologize, sir. Confirmed outright that the studio didn't get it and wanted it out. It's funny because that was always in the story, like from the beginning of their scripting, it sounds like. We shot it way back in 2016. It was something that I don't know what it was, the mood of the studio at the time. They just didn't get it, to be honest. They were just like, I don't understand this. And maybe it was the previous nature of it, or the post-viz nature, or whatever, but it was one of the first things they threw out after they pulled Zach off the movie, sadly. And then he said he's really happy with the work that Brian did, because Brian hadn't had a chance to touch the scene before, so this was all brand new to him. But this guy had lived with it for years, and the spec for it never changed. So, and they had some early post-viz versions of it that I could show him. I really love the breadth and depth and scope that he gave those big ideas that are in that imagery. So yeah, it sounds like it's just something that studio executives just couldn't wrap their heads around, which is funny because Superman did it in a movie in 1977, 78. Like, like Superman did it years ago. And the same stuff happens in that reversal sequence in the Superman movie when he turns the Earth back. It's just a lot slower.
Yeah, it's I guess it's just visually it was just a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe because the pre-production stuff, like you couldn't really get a scope of what Snyder was trying to envision with it.
Maybe.
Yeah, pretty wild,
Yep.
man. And obviously it could not fit in the Whedon cut because, nothing to that scale happened to where Barry would have to time travel.
Yep.
Being too much of a comedic relief to have a serious moment like that.
Yeah.
And, while we're talking about The Flash, season 8's going to be premiering in November, I think,
Oh, wow.
of this year.
That's cool.
Yeah, and with it's starting off with a crossover event.
Ah.
Reading the article that was talking about this, yeah, I guess I didn't hear anything about it, but initially, right, there was supposed to be a crossover between Superman and Lois, Batwoman, and Supergirl. Right, that was going to be this year's or last year's CW crossover, but because of COVID, they ended up axing that.
Okay.
And that was also announced before Ruby Rose quit as Batwoman as well. So I'm sure they had to change the story up. And then some other interesting news with that though is, so instead of that, I guess we're getting John Diggle is going to be crossing over into the CW shows. He's going to be showing up in episodes here and there, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Which is cool. I liked it when he showed up in Flash after Crisis, and he was sort of there to support Barry into accepting Oliver's death.
Yeah.
In a sense. Because there was an episode where Barry was obsessed, like, oh, wait, Oliver gave me the mask I made him from season 3. Like, he's not a Momentum kind of guy. So maybe there's something more to this, and, he's like trying to find these clues that are kind of there, but not really. And then Diggle, has to just sit him down and say, like, look, man, gives him this whole great monologue about moving forward and stuff.
That's cool.
So that's cool that he's going to be popping up in these other shows this coming season.
Cool. I like that.
Well, actually, it might be sooner than we thought, because in the article it said that he's going to be showing up in Superman and Lois. Yeah, it was supposed to be that, Supergirl, Flash, and I think Legends as well. Oh, no, Batwoman, Superman and Lois, Flash, and Supergirl. But yeah, so going back to the Flash, it's starting off with the 5-episode crossover event with the other CW shows, and the sad part about this news is in the article, it's quoted by the showrunner that they're not calling it the Arrowverse anymore, it's the CW-verse.
That's a bummer.
I mean, yeah, Arrow's not here anymore, but, it's been known as the Arrowverse unofficially for years. I thought it ended a while back, but yeah, Black Lightning just ended, and the main actor, Cress Williams, he was in a recent interview talking about if he's been approached for the crossover. He said, yeah, he would like to come in. They're just in the talking phases right now, but he enjoyed working with Grant Gustin in Crisis.
Cool.
Which I like their scenes together. They had some good chemistry.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, that'd be cool to see him come back. I'd be into that.
So right on, man. And so with this news, people are speculating if season 8's going to be the end for Flash.
Whoa.
But yeah, especially with it being a crossover event. We got the casting for Godspeed not that long ago. But yeah, that's cool that it's going to be a crossover stuff. They did mention that early on it's going to feel like a crossover just to reintroduce the characters together.
Okay.
Which is pretty much all the crossovers do, right? Like we get a little moment to where we see our characters do their thing in their own show before they get picked up, and then it's like, all right, guys, here's the team up, and here's the synopsis for the show, or for the crossover.
I've always thought the crossover stuff has been the most entertaining stuff to me, so I'm excited to just see more of it as it comes. That's generally where I tune in on most of this stuff, is during the crossover events. Otherwise, I'm not really watching the in-between episodes a whole lot.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten better with it. I think like the first crossover was just literally just an episode of The Flash and Arrow where, they guest star each other's shows. And then the next crossover was a 2-parter, which was nice. And then we really got into more story-focused stuff, and then actually not having everybody show up at once was a good idea. Right, like with Elseworlds, that was a smaller cast, and then with Crisis, there was really only 8 main characters. Because, it is tough to have a huge ensemble like that.
Yeah.
Especially on a TV budget. The weirdest thing about the crossovers, Stephen Amell mentioned it, was when you do the crossovers, you're still going through the schedules of all the shows. Like, they're not saying, like, this is going to be the time frame for the crossover, like, separately from the shows. Like, no, like, this is the Legends shooting day, so we have to record here. But then you have to make sure nobody goes into overtime and stuff. So you get weird things like
his death scene where he's not on screen with anybody else.
Yeah.
The worst.
Or like even with Legends of Tomorrow, when Ray Palmer was leaving the show, he filmed his final moments by himself as well.
Wow.
Because they were also filming the crossover at that time for Crisis.
Wow. That sucks.
It's sad to see because in that, there's a set photo of it where it's just Brandon Routh standing on a green screen by himself.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, this is like the final day of shooting as Ray Palmer.
Man, that's not fun at all.
Yeah, that like when I heard about that stuff from Stephen Amell and then from Brandon, I was like, wow, that's crazy that they would film it like that.
Yeah, that's super weird to me.
But yeah, that was it for the Flash Season 8 info. And then that's not over for the DC TV, though. We got information for the Green Lantern series. Yeah, so we got the casting for Alan Scott, and that is going to be Jeremy Irvine.
Okay, so something I heard about this one, it's spanning a few decades or something, right? Like that's what I've been led to. That's what I've been told is that it's going to be spanning a few, like a minute of time in the DC universe. So maybe this will be Alan Scott early on or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because he is pretty young, this guy.
Yeah.
Just for the next bit for Green Lantern, we got the director for the show. And it is Lee Talon Krieger.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he directed some other stuff that was on HBO or something. So he directed, I thought it was Greg Berlanti, but turns out this guy directed the pilot for Superman and Lois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's only been he filmed some other shows too that I haven't seen.
Okay.
Oh, Riverdale, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you telling me about that. Oh. You know, there's some good stuff in there, Lantern-wise. I'm excited for, like, Guy Gardner. That'll be cool.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't really know if I care about the other characters.
Oh, okay, it's been confirmed. Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz, Kilowog, and Sinestro.
See, why have everybody but Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner? Like, what's the point of doing that? And Jon Stewart. It's like doing all the Batman stuff, but with no Bruce Wayne in it. Like, it's the same thing, where they're too afraid to use, like, the original version of the character for whatever reason. I don't get it.
Well, my big surprise is Kilowog and Sinestro.
Yeah. Boy, that's weird.
So right on, man. And the last piece of news I got over here from DC is that they are going to be doing an animated Injustice movie.
Yes, this I'm actually super stoked about. I'm really excited. When I saw the announcement for this one, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I wanna see that. That sounds really good." So I'm pretty stoked for an Injustice movie that's animated. Sounds like a pretty good time to me.
I played a little bit of the games. I never really got too deep into the story, but the stuff I hear from people, it sounds pretty cool.
I really think the first game is like way over the top in terms of the story. Like it gets real silly, but it's also still really fun and cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good time. It's really obviously it's all Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, NetherRealm Studios.
Yeah, so that's really fun. Like playing the game itself is just like a good time, and then all the matchups and stuff with all the characters are always a great time. Like them trash talking each other in multiplayer matches and whatever. But the story of the game itself, I think, gets far better once you get to the second game. I think it's a lot more interesting. So it would be cool to see if they could do this movie and also a sequel to it. Like if they could pull off doing the sequel.
Well, there's also the Injustice comics.
Yes,
that are out there as well.
Which I believe is what this will probably be based more on, is the comic books.
Yeah, because I know they go a lot further, and like there's more stuff being explored in the comics.
Yes.
Well, you know, one thing you always rely on is the DC animated movies. I've
never felt steered wrong by that, so they've always been real entertaining and good. I still want to check out the last of the newest stuff, the Justice League Doom and the other one, like the big finale for the animated universe. I still got to check those ones out.
Yes, I've taken a considerable break on those movies. I'll get back to those eventually. Seeing like Flashpoint of how brutal the fights can be, that's just gives you hype for what this one's gonna offer.
Oh man, the Shazam scene is gonna be brutal. So it's going to be a good time. I think Injustice will be a fun one to watch. It's going to be, I think it might be hard to go back and watch multiple times if they go hard with it, but it's going to be fun.
Right. Well, right on, guys. With that, I think it's safe to say we could wrap up this episode. And yeah, so again, we'll be back soon to talk about that Loki stuff that Jake's going to be going to, as well as the pilot episode. And while we wait for that episode, Jake, where can we find you at?
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. And the latest episode of Shattered Past has released. It has done buku on YouTube. It's doing great right now. Everybody's coming to watch it. So if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. I play Lord Draken in this episode. It's my big premiere. I'm finally in an episode as the main man himself. And it was just a great time working on that episode, and we've got more on the way. So, yeah, go check it out. It's the longest episode we've made so far. It clocks in at about 18 minutes. So it's just a couple minutes under the runtime of an actual Power Rangers episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's really cool. We're striving for big stuff. So it's really cool. So check it out. It's really awesome. Currently sitting around 60,000 views, but we can pump those numbers, baby. Let's get those numbers up.
Heck yeah, man. And we'll have a link in the description so you guys can check that out.
Yeah. And Danny, if you haven't checked it out yet, you should. So we can talk about it on the show.
I think it's time, man. Yeah.
We should do just a little mini thing about it at some point. I'd be down. But Danny, where can we find you?
Yeah, man. As always, you can find me at Negator7 anywhere you go. And then if you want, you could swing on over to Twitch. I am going through the Ratchet and Clank series as I'm getting pumped up for Rift Apart, which is real soon.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like 2/3 into all the games so far. So slowly but surely, yeah, I'll be there.
Cool.
Hopefully I'll be there in time when I put in a Rift Apart.
Fingers crossed. I mean, for the latest game, you can just watch the movie, right? Like that was that latest one?
Yeah. Yeah, you could just watch the movie from what I understand.
Okay. All right. You don't actually have to play it. That's okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of older video games, I've been playing through Jak and Daxter again. I just completed Jak and Daxter. Only need a few precursor orbs to get that 100% and that platinum. But I'll be working on that later. I'm full throttle. I want to go into Jak 2, and I'm finishing this series, baby. I got to see how this ends, because I heard about some crazy stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I'm ready.
Right on, man. And then if you want, you can follow the podcast at Marvel Talk Cast on Instagram. That's where we can update you when the episodes drop. And if you have any questions or comments, you can send those over to marveltalkpodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to bring those up on the episodes. All right, thank you guys for listening. And until next time,
Shazam!